webinar for you. And he's got a Pop-Tart for him, right? Carbohydrates and everything. The guy like takes it, eating it, and David Goggins basically doing the right thing for his friend, looking after his friend. And then a guy,
right now.
And the guy comes down, like is running towards them and like stops, and he goes, "Are you David Goggins?" And he's like, "Yes, sir, I am." And he's like, he's like, "My son told me that you're on this race." He's like, "I was wondering if I was able to keep up with you. Looks like now I'm beating you." And then he kept running, right?
Tonight on Chat GPT, I already have a bunch of signups, so.
All right. So what we should do is we should make a commitment to like do at least one podcast a week.
Yeah.
Like either one a week or two a week, and then schedule it. And then adhere to that schedule. And then however we would do that regarding
well, this is content right here. Like me saying, like I'll literally do this, right? Take this piece of this meeting here, cut it up in 3 parts, and then repurpose it on all platforms, right? This is exactly what Viral Alchemy is going to do. This is exactly what we'll do. And I'm doing this through Chat GPT, AI, and a new app called Captions. So, which is literally anybody can be omnipresent. That's the word of the year for me. Someone asked me what's the word of the year. It was soul in 2020 when Jesse Itzler said it. It was then freedom, okay, which is funny last year. Now I'm free here in Florida. And now it's omnipresent.
Yeah, but you're already doing a really good job of doing all that.
Yeah, but like to me, dude, I'm not, like I want to be omnipresent like Trump, dude, you know?
Yeah, keep going for it. I mean, I think you can definitely do it. You're loud enough.
Yeah. And a lot of, instead of being loud and arrogant and proud, like and brash, I want to be more diplomatic and more, oh dude, I was with Sylvia Leslie, and I'll tell this story really quick. With her, we're out, you know how I can be loud? So we're out, and I don't want to say too much about it. We just get each other really well. Like, it's weird because I hate being friends with the girls. I don't think anybody could be friends with the girls. Like, but it's friendly enough where I'm being loud, and she's like, "Hey, that's not our space. Like, these people are talking," which reminds me of what you and Dad would say. And I'm just so like, I'm gonna run for president and educate, and people are out eating, right? And she did it in a very like.
What does she mean? That's not our space.
Like I was infringing on their space. So we're out at a restaurant.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, we went walking on the beach, right? And I'm being so loud. My shoulder. Yeah, I gotta get a doc. What is
watershed? Water. Word of the day: watershed.
What does it mean?
A crucial dividing point, line or factor, or a turning point, or a region of area that drains to a particular body of water.
Oh, I got
this. Then I got this one. This is life hacks.
Yeah.
So have a stuffy nose, pop a few Altoids in your mouth. They not only freshen your breath, but they also work well as a decongestion.
Oh, that's good. What's the word of the day for you? Or the word of the year for 2020?
Oh, success.
2023, the word of the year, success, and mine's omnipresent.
Yeah, actually, it's funny. I don't know if you saw this, but I did this.
I did see that. That's good. Here, yeah, explain that really quick.
So I'm reading 2 books every month. One is an actual physical book, and then another one's an audiobook. So for instance, the way my schedule works is I do my workout in the morning, and when I do my cardio, I listen to my audiobook for 15, 20 minutes, right? Force me to do cardio, 15, 20 minutes, listen to 15 minutes a day. What I do is I do this. Let's say the audiobook is 9 hours. I divide that by 30 days. So whatever minutes it takes to do it in 30 days, that's how long my cardio will be, right? Same thing with my book. At the end of the night, I'll read a book, 20 pages right now, because Life Force is 700 pages long, Tony Robbins' new health book, which is really cool. Yeah, and I'm doing 2 every single month. So
Dude, I love that. Yeah, dude. I think I'm gonna borrow. I want to read the next 5 moves, so I think I'm gonna read kind of the same books you're gonna read because I saw it.
Yeah, go for it. Read them. A lot of them I looked up. What Patrick Bet-David's like books that
Top
he
books. Yeah,
suggested.
dude, me too, dude. He's so well read. It makes me like, so.
Yeah, so the one of them is Power versus Force.
I've actually
Another
read
one.
parts of that.
Have you? Do you have the
Yeah.
physical book or the
No, so what
audio
actually,
book?
it was on Clubhouse, and this girl, Ariana, we used to read. Oh no, that was 48 Laws of Power. Never mind.
And that's also on mine too, as
Yeah,
well.
that
Do you
one's
know what's
almost dark and weird. I mean, it's good, but it's like it's true. It makes you almost not feel good about yourself.
so? It is if you understand. It's great
How
to
to use it for
understand that.
good.
Correct.
Yeah.
Now, Patrick Bet-David said, he's like, a lot of people know about this book, but they don't recommend this book. It's like, 'cause they don't want to share, like, oh, I know this, I know that. He's, I'm going to tell you what that book is. The 48 Laws of Power. He says, do you know what the first law of that is? Everybody thinks it's all about having power. Do you know what the first law is?
Influence.
No, it's this, which I strongly agree with, which I think is something that I think you struggle with because you're naturally loud, but and I mean loud by you get attention, not loud like loud. Never outshine the master.
Oh, wow. Dude, know what? Can I tell you something? And this, with the word omnipresent, I don't want to outshine the master, because one thing that Tate, and one thing that Patrick and David's been saying, he talked about the Rothschilds and wealth and the person, right? Dude, and actually what taught me this is I love Grant to death, right? And there was a point when I just came more thing. And now, dude, I was at the real estate summit with Grant. I asked a question, and there were other questions I wanted to ask, and some were good. Would it make me look good? Would it value? When I asked the question, I think, would it value other people besides just myself before I ask in a public forum? Okay. Because when you do that, it better serves everybody. Okay. It was something I learned. And you know me, I used to just talk to get attention, and now I don't. And that's why it's different. Right. But I actually had a few questions, but I didn't ask them because I had such a big brand. I didn't, and I know this sounds so like egocentric, and I don't mean it to, but I didn't want to shout Grant. I love Grant, dude. I want Grant to be number one. I want everybody to buy Grant stuff when he's there. You know what I mean? Like, because that's what he wants, and like people buy my stuff, it's fine. Like, I respect that. So, and and that goes for all these guys, because we're all trying to do the same stuff and help everybody. You know what I mean? It's just who you learn from.
Right, which is interesting because I started thinking about that, and it like it's hard, but it's also very necessary. So, for instance, Will and Shimmick are masters, right, at what they do. They really are.
Right, yeah.
So when they give me advice or when I do something good, I go, cool, awesome. I don't try to outshine them. If I do something really good, I want them to bring attention to it. I'm not really flaunting it.
But you've never been that way. The one thing you've had about you, dude, you used to throw a touchdown, a sick pass, and you just be like, cool. And I'm like, I always wanted
because
that, but
for me, I inherently understood, like, I guess, and I'm not saying that I'm smarter than anybody else, but I understood power dynamics. That there is it if you do something great and act like it's no big deal, people go, what the fuck is this guy? Like, what else is he capable of? If you do something amazing and bring attention to it, you should. I'm not saying you don't, but there's a weird thing that I was always comfortable with of, like, instead of going, here's my fucking like full house motherfuckers and throwing it down, which is there's a time and place for that. But when somebody goes, I've got 3 of a kind, you go, okay. And you just put down a full house and then just look at them and they go, fuck, he had me the whole entire time.
It's cool.
They look at you differently. They're like, I don't know about that guy. He's quiet and he had me and he didn't, that's what I like. I like that. But yeah.
No, I need more of that, and not to copy, totally mimic, model, master you, which I have done. But I do think it would serve me better because I've always been so loud and flaunting everything, which is fine. There is a point to that's what got me the brand I have. But and this, you understand power dynamics. Me and someone else was talking about this yesterday. Even the way you allot your time, it's like the power. You're in control of your time. No, we can do this. Okay, cool. It's like a privilege to be on there. Ed Milet does the same thing. You have that. Where me, I'm so easily accessible. People know I get Jeff on the phone. I can ask a bunch of questions, right? Let me just get them out. And then because I'm very outgoing, so I want to be more. I want to have a better power dynamic. You know.
Yeah, and I think I'm reading that book in April. I'm listening to it because I already have it downloaded, but I'm listening to it. The next audiobook I'm listening to is by the same author who wrote
Which
that,
one are you listening to now? Never Finished?
by David Goggins.
Yeah, I haven't even started that. Is it good?
It's hysterical. But it's hysterical where you're just like, this guy's a savage. Like, how to like it's weird because it makes you wanna you understand the importance of struggle and suffering, and you understand that like this is pain and we go like this and go around it the whole entire time. And his whole point is, what if you just push through the pain, and it's really good because it makes you want to do certain things, like push yourself a little bit further in the gym, right? It's like the power of one more, like what Ed Milet says, but it's like on a deeper level, like that struggle that you have with that person inside yourself that says, I want to sleep in a little bit later, how that talks to you so much throughout your whole entire life. And he talks about how, like, after he became famous, he started to take it easy, and which is cool because, like, you go, dude, this guy doesn't take it easy.
Dude, can I tell you something? That's what I love. Did you see Jordan's The Last Dance?
No, you told me about this.
But very similar. Jordan has that drive, and we know Jordan to go like almost to David Goggins, like he doesn't stop, right? But they shows him human, which made me like him more. Like he wasn't. There's a point in it where he pushes Scottie Pippen in game 6 in the Last Dance game, and he pushes who hurts his back, and he's like, "No, you're gonna do it," because Jordan like would expect people out of himself the best, but he also expects other people. But there was points, dude, when Jordan he went and played baseball, and he was out of basketball shape, and he just wasn't good. Like, and he missed shots, but he was so calm and cool about it, like literally. And he would like basically say, very like people, he had 1.1 and a chance to make it, and he's like, yeah, everybody's expecting me to make it. And he had a very cool vibe to him. He took the higher road a lot of times. Yeah, he had his whole competitive stuff, dude. He had what I have. He'll talk shit to himself about people. He lied to himself and said a guy said, "Nice game, Mike," when he lost, and he went and demolished the guy, and the guy never said it.
You guys are psychos. No, I get
we
that.
are, dude.
Like, I understand it. I do. And like David Goggins has a little bit of that. Like, for instance, he's telling, like, he runs 100-mile races, 100 miles, dude, 100-mile races. And they're over terrains. They're up in the Colorado Rockies, 12,000 feet above sea level that they're running and everything like that. And he runs with a team that supports him, meaning like he's running and there's a couple other people that are running alongside with him to make sure that he doesn't fall, he doesn't, whatever it is. These are trained people who do it, whatever. So he's running, and the guy's name is, I forget what the guy's name is. He falls behind. So he's doing all things like that. You can use poles during this race, and he's not using the poles. He's using his hands on his knees. And then finally the guy goes, listen, we're at mile 75. He's like, this race says you can use poles. Here's some poles for you, And he's like, I don't want to use that. I don't want to use that. It's like, but the race calls for it. So he starts thinking about, like, am I being stubborn or should I evolve? So he's like, let me evolve. So he uses them. He's like, wow, these do actually help. So he's like, I'm learning something. I shouldn't be stubborn. I'm moving on, I'm moving forward. But the guy who's helping him starts to fall back. So they get to one of the aid stations and he grabs the Pop-Tart, but it's not for him. It's for his friend. So he starts waiting for the guy. He's not coming, right? 2 miles, 3 miles, waiting for the guy. It's not coming. So then around the corner, all of a sudden the guy comes. He's like, what are you doing? Why are you waiting for me? He's like, I got this for you. And he got a Pop-Tart for him, right? Carbohydrates and everything. The guy like takes it, he's eating it. And David Goggins basically doing the right thing for his friend, looking after his friend. And then a guy right now. And the guy comes down, like, is running towards them and like stops, and he goes, are you David Goggins? And he's like, yes, sir, I am. And he's like, he's like, my son told me that you're on this race. He's like, I was wondering if I was able to keep up with you. Looks like now I'm beating you. And then he kept running, right? So David Goggins just sits there, and his friend who he waited for is like, fuck that guy. And David Goggins is like, never mind him. And he's like, listen, you don't have to stay for me, whatever it is. And David Goggins like, no, whatever it is. And the guy who knows what propels David Goggins to move forward is like, you go catch that guy and you make sure, tell him no that like you're like the alpha guy on the race, right? So David Goggins like, that's all I need to hear. He's like, so I ran, and if they're running in the night. He was, I ran him, and I see him coming. I'm coming up behind him. This is what I mean. It's hysterical. It's like, I'm running, I'm catching up with him. And he goes, I made sure it's pitch black dark. He's like, we have lights on, but it's really hard to see. He's like, I made sure I put my shoulder right next to him when I passed him, so where he could feel my breath. And then I just side-eyed him. He just kept running by him. And but like, that's the stuff that pushes David Goggins, right? Where I admit that like you have that, Jordan has that. There's a little bit of give up in me. Like, I actually go like, fuck it. Like, I'm going to be healthy here. So, I mean, I push myself towards a level of certain things, but not
dude,
like
that's your inner strength. You have your power dynamic where you're at, and then you can turn, like, maybe I can turn it off by me saying I can't. I'm learning this, like I don't. And I do, don't get me wrong, but I have this constant like push, like Brady has it too. Brady, Jordan, dude, the best compliment June of Viral Alchemy ever told me was, you remind me what Kobe and Jordan has. And dude, Tim Grover, who is in The Last Dance, I'm literally sitting working on my computer, literally working. All these girls are, I don't even know what I was working on then. All these girls go over, take a picture with Tim Grover. Tim Grover, coolest moment still ever. Walks, goes, hi, Jeff, like that. That's because of branding, because of me putting it out. And then I went and talked to him. And I actually got a chance to share with him later after I read the book, Winning, great book. Hey man, thanks for making me not feel crazy. Like, part of me like feels crazy, but then I know like, and dude, then I feel like, oh my God, I'm not Jordan, I'm not Brady, but I have that same drive. So if I actually don't let this drive to be that, right? If I don't become president or make an impact, then I haven't used my full potential of what like Jordan and dude, even Jordan said in The Last Dance, oh, I wish I came on for 7. Because dude, it's crazy how it even went on. Like, I didn't even know any of this, but it was really good at the end. And Dennis Rodman's a character. It was a really just good show. They knew it was good. They tried to do multiple spinoffs, and they weren't as good, you know.
Is it on
Netflix.
Is it on ESPN?
The Netflix. That's how I watched
awesome.
it, because I got your Netflix password. And then cool. I created my own profile because I was messing up your Seinfeld watching.
Yeah, that's okay. So one thing I didn't realize is that my AT&T, you get free HBO Max with it, which is kind of cool. So I logged in, I've been watching Friends, and I was watching Seinfeld. Like, we just had it on the background. Actually had it on the background. We're trying to get like Colton to sleep. And Seinfeld's funny. It's actually very funny.
Dude, I was cracking up last night. If I can't sleep, I'll turn it on. That's what I do. I'll watch it at the end of the night, just like relax and roll down. Because I wasn't relaxing for a while, you know?
But one of the cool things is now I was able to log in HBO Max, which now has Friends. And I had that on. Friends did something that like Seinfeld didn't do, is that the characters were so likable, you knew them, right? Where Seinfeld's like, you knew what the characters would do,
right?
But Friends, like, you knew the characters, and their comedy was based on how they act. And it
dude, I actually looked for Friends first. So Friends got HBO Max, which shows, dude, and it's funny. I wonder if your mind goes here. Does your mind always go to leadership and management principles like naturally? I feel like it does.
More growth. Like, how'd they do that? How are they figuring that out? Whatever it is. And then once I learn how to apply it, then my mind goes, how do I apply it to other people, which is leadership.
Because where my mind goes very fast, you talk about Friends, and I'm like, well, that makes sense because they were like authentically to themselves. So their branding's good. So they're behind branding before even branding. And they brand as Friends. And then it's like, and HBO's a brand. And so I just went to branding and marketing, you know?
I'm confirming an appraisal for tomorrow
All right,
at
I'm
10 a.m.
gonna
on one of my
stop this
deals.
because this was some good content, so I'm gonna post it because we just went. So if we're just gonna go